CWCD Casual Wrestling Conversation Daily for April 4th. It's the 4th, 2025. It is Friday, which means it's time for a special edition we like to call the IWC Meltdown. I am your host, the notorious Dirty Dee, joined today by the queen of casual. We are diving headfirst into three of the dumbest, most brain-dead takes from the IWC this week. Every Friday, we crack open the internet wrestling sewers, pull out the worst opinions we can find, and tear them to shreds. 3 takes, 3 meltdowns, all facts, no fluff. You have a hot take of your own, go ahead and send that over to us. Drop it in the comments. Hit up the Casual Wrestling Discord or shoot me an email at questions@casualwrestling.com. Today's show is brought to you by the Casual Wrestling Merch Store, but we will talk about that more at the end of the episode. Right now, Lauren, let's jump right into this week's first meltdown.
All right.
So this week's first meltdown was sent to us by our good casual best friend, We Too Deep, who dropped this in the Discord and said he wanted to get my take on this. This comes from X, which is Twitter, whatever the fuck they call it these days. Comes from an Alfredo Diaz.
Okay.
And he says, we need to talk about the way Tyler Bate and Pete Dunn were under 20 when they signed with the Fed and are now 30 and have done nothing on their careers. What a shame. The Fed wasted 2 possible generational talents. Fuck the Fed, then, now, and forever.
Okay. Who the fuck is Tyler Bate and Pete Dunn?
So I knew this was coming. This is the big problem with the IWC. This is what they don't understand. They don't understand the avatar, which is the casual wrestler. Someone like yourself, the casual wrestling fan. Someone like yourself who doesn't have time to figure out who these people are. Hey, Lauren, you know Tyler Bates, he does all the cool moves in the ring. You should know him, right?
Nope.
Yo, you don't know who Pete Dunn is?
No.
Let me ask you this. You know him by the name that the casual fans know him by.
Okay.
That's Butch.
But I know Butch is.
Oh, the light clicked. It's almost like when they took away the gimmick and they took him out of the cool group that was appealing to casual fans, and they teamed him up with another guy who's very similar, that he became forgettable.
I didn't even, so is he in a tag team right now or something?
Yeah, they're in a tag team. They're like New Catch Republic.
I had no idea. Are they even on WWE anymore?
Yeah, They so Tyler Bates just came back off injury.
Okay.
But Pete Dunn, my bad, Pete Dunn, he doesn't like to be called Butch anymore.
He's going to be Butch to me, sorry.
Pete Dunn has been breaking fingers for the last couple months, and nobody, especially casual wrestling fans, really care. But apparently, Tyler Bates and Pete Dunn, they are generational talents, Lauren. That's what the IWC is saying. It's just the big, bad, evil WWE buries guys like this for fun. That's what's happening. It has nothing to do with the fact that they are vanilla ice cream. They are creator wrestler number 1 and number 2. They are generic ass white motherfuckers. That's what they are, right? Y'all throw around this term generational like it's a participation ribbon given out at a swim meet, right? We got to stop with this idea that because someone can quote unquote do wrestling moves, which I argue all the time, they're not really doing wrestling moves. They're doing choreographed fake fighting. But because they do choreographed fake fighting real well, they're generational talents. And that's just not the case. It is time to challenge that definition that the IWC has given to these guys who could fake fight pretty good, right? Mm-hmm. They throw this around. They just generational talent has to change the industry. That is when that term is necessary. You have to do something that no one else can do. You have to sell more tickets than everybody else. You have to move more merch than everybody else. You have to make the casual fans care. That I had someone argue me the other day. They go, casual fans don't make up the bulk of the audience. And I'm like, That is the most insane take. I said, just because he goes, I talk to people all the time. I said, no, you talk to your 10 to 15 friends on Twitter or on TikTok or on YouTube, and then you take that sample size and assume that everybody watching wrestling carries that opinion. The problem is that 80% of the wrestling fan base isn't on Twitter. They're not in wrestling TikTok.
I'm not.
They are separated out, and they have disposable income. They go to work from 9 to 5, and they come home and they spend time with their family, and they don't live and breathe. Wrestling is a getaway, but it's not a hobby.
Committing to watching that much wrestling a week is a huge commitment, but I consume it in the doses that I do, and I watch more SmackDown because I'm available during that time.
Fridays.
A Monday night is hard to just dedicate that time. And then if you want me to follow it on TikTok, you want me to do all that stuff, no. So that's why I don't know who Pete Dunne is, but I know who Butch Cassidy is.
Butch Cassidy is not Butch. Butch Cassidy is a Western person.
Oh, well, he's Butch Cassidy in my mind.
Butch Cassidy is from he's
like the crazy guy.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
He was crazy, he got my attention, and then that's when the fuck I knew who he was.
Sure.
But also, every time he took his hair down and he was fighting with the other guys, unpopular opinion, I actually don't care. I always thought he was a girl.
Yeah,
like
I could see it.
What's that?
I can
girl
see it.
Fighting with the guys.
The term generational is used for like John Cena.
The Rock?
John Cena, generational talent. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, generational talent. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Undertaker, Roman Reigns. Not Tyler Bates, okay? Nothing against Tyler Bates. I have no issue with Tyler Bates. He's not a generational talent. We have to be careful where we throw around these terms. But this, Laura, this is where the IWC, it always circles back to this argument, and this gets me in trouble, and they get upset and they get pissed off. But professional wrestling is a visual medium, okay? And Tyler Bates is 5'7", okay? You're not generational talent if you're 5'7" and you're not Rey Mysterio, right? If you're not flipping around a ring,
that's literally what I was just thinking.
Your gimmick, because the argument they're with Rey Mysterio, dude, Rey Mysterio has so many intangibles, including being a luchador, right? There's things that make him special. Tyler Bates is not Rey Mysterio, and at 5'7", man, it is hard to get over with casual wrestling fans. Pete Dunne is 5'10" on a good day, right? So neither one of these guys are just physical specimens. Tell me the last time someone not named Rey Mysterio main evented a WrestleMania and was not 6'2" or taller. It's very, maybe Bryan Danielson.
How tall was he?
I don't know exactly how tall Bryan Danielson is, but I think he's smaller. But the reality is most of these guys like Seth Rollins, they're at least 6'1", 6'2", right? Pete Dunne at 5'10", okay, you're right on the fringe. At 5'7", you're not even knocking on the door. No. You're not even in the front yard. You're standing across the street looking at the main event of WrestleMania trying to figure out what's going on. But here's the reality. You said it, right?
Did Hornswoggle ever do WrestleMania?
He may have been interested. He never main evented a WrestleMania. But here's the reality, right? Yeah. When was Butch/Pete Dunne the most popular? When he was standing next to the 6'3" Irish redheaded motherfucker that looks like a superhero, right? Yeah. Because Sheamus is a main event guy. Maybe even you could loosely throw the term around generational talent, but Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates just aren't there. Unfortunately, there are size limitations. There are personality limitations, and unfortunately, certain people are just sidekicks. And it is as bad as that's going to hurt some of the IWC to hear that. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates, they'll be a fine tag team. They may go on to win tag team gold, but neither one of those guys are winning a world championship. It's just not. They're not. When you say generational talent, they're not of that level. And that's not hate. That's just reality, right?
So are they jobbers then?
Not at all. Not at all.
What is the difference between like somebody who's just like existing and a jobber?
So these guys, they have a ceiling. And they will reach that ceiling. They will reach what a 5'7" talented wrestler can reach. But to also act like the original post that they've just done nothing. Like they've accomplished things. Pete Dunne held the UK title. That was a big deal. You know what I mean? That was a world championship in NXT. That's about the ceiling that I expect for a Pete Dunne, right? Mm-hmm. Tyler Bates was the first UK champion at like 19 years old or something like that. And they both put on very good NXT matches. They're just not, there's just a ceiling, right? When you stand next to Drew McIntyre, when you stand next to Roman Reigns, when you have to stand next to Braun Strowman, these Damian Priest, when you have to stand next to these behemoth of men, it's really hard to get over at 5'7". You have to be extreme. You have to do more than just be able to wrestle.
Yeah.
You know? And so the problem is the IWC struggles is that nobody outside of Reddit, out of maybe TikTok, out of Twitter, nobody shares this opinion of the generational talent thing. And so they talk to their 10 friends, and their 10 friends tell them, oh no, man, Tyler Bates is so good. He's so good. He's just held back by the WWE. But the reality is, if you polled 90% of casual wrestling fans like you, they may not know who Tyler Bates is. And if they do, they're not there to see him. And that's unfortunately, that's the name of the game, right? Mm-hmm. The other thing that I think the IWC struggles with is, and I want to do an episode on this really soon, is that NXT is a cheat code. We have to stop. Everybody, this is including casual wrestling fans. We have to stop saying that people in NXT are better than people on the main roster. It's not the same game. They could be great. They can have all the potential in the world. Some of them get called up like a Braun Breaker and do find that success. But more often than not, someone gets called up and they get lost in the mix because the main roster has such different requirements than NXT. NXT is a very informed fan base. So that fan base does respect wrestling a little more than the WWE audience are still looking for who's the vampire, right? They still want to see Stone Cold and Kane and The Rock and those people. And so it is a much different game when you get to the main roster and you have to appeal to this very broad fan base of people. And guys like Tyler Bates and Pete Dunne, they just don't possess that ability. Now, if Pete Dunne or Tyler Bates wants to go find a very creative gimmick and create a character that can get over with mass appeal, the sky's the limit. Bryan Danielson caught fire because of his association to Kane. Most people don't talk about this, okay? So Kane and Bryan Danielson were tag team partners. They would go to therapy together. And then in that, there became this yes chant when the crowd wanted Bryan Danielson and Kane to hug and do things. This yes chant kind of bubbled up from that. It came from that whole situation. Oh. And so it bubbled up, and that took Bryan Danielson to another level. Talent-wise, Bryan Danielson was always on the next level, but it took a certain gimmick in a certain situation in a certain set of circumstances to elevate him and get people to recognize. Once you get to that next level, then the wrestling kicks in and people go, not only is he over, but he can really wrestle well, right? Yeah. But to me, it's we gotta quit with throwing around just because a guy is a pretty good wrestler. He's generational talent, right? Some guys do plateau. Some guys, there is a hard ceiling for Tyler Bates and Pete Dunne, and they are very good wrestlers, but they're not generational superstars, and that's okay. We should be okay with that. That like you said, they're not jobbers. Mm-hmm. They're not jobbers. I don't look at them. A jobber is somebody who you know is going out there and is set up to lose, and those don't exist really in the Triple H era. Triple H hasn't really set anybody up to be a jobber per se, but these guys, their ceilings, it's the window that they have to crawl to get to that next level is going to be insane. But to sit and bitch and complain like it's WWE's fault It's not WWE's fault. These guys got to get creative. If you're 5'7", you've got to get creative. That's just the reality.
You have to, in anything, you have to find something that makes you stand out.
Sure,
simple.
Sure, and some people are God-given. Sometimes you are a 6'6" Scottish fucking
redhead. Is he 6'6"?
No, I'm not talking about Irish. I'm talking about Drew McIntyre.
Oh,
Scottish.
My bad. I thought you were talking about.
You're a 6'6" sculpted Scottish man.
But didn't he even get like fired from WWE?
Sure.
Reinvented himself and came back.
That's a great example, Lauren. He was not that big. He did not have that look. He left WWE, went and got his shit together, came back. But still, it would be nice to be 6'6". Yeah. I think that's kind of
in my mind.
code.
I'm 6'6".
Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get into a little housekeeping here. I want to know, how is everybody liking the new show format? If you guys could chime in the comment section, let me know. The switch to the one topic per day, Monday through Thursday, and then on Fridays doing the IWC Meltdown. It seems there's a little bit of confusion that this is what the format that I've switched to is not doing a full-on just hour-and-a-half podcast every Friday. It's more, and this one may go longer, but the idea is to hit one topic a day, Monday through Thursday, and then Friday it's kind of a fun breaking down of the IWC's overreaction. So you guys, let me know what you think about that. I've heard a couple people in the Discord talk about bringing casual game night back. That's not lost on me. Just trying to find time right now is the biggest problem. Is trying to sort out time with the amount of time that it takes to record and to prep and to do the post-show work and to do the marketing for the show. It takes up my entire days and nights. So I do want to get back to a casual game night. I know there was about 6 or 8 of us that were consistently hitting up the game night. I think I'd like for it to be maybe like a live stream of a game.
Oh.
Like a Baldur's Gate or a Sea of Thieves, something like that. But we'll talk about that. That's not wrestling. We'll talk about that more.
That could definitely go pretty interesting.
It could be fun.
It could be fun.
It's an extension of the show.
You get to see my wonderful gameplay.
Bad news for everybody as far as Las Vegas goes. Unfortunately, due to some unforeseen medical issues, I am not able to fly right now. So I'm not going to be able to make WrestleMania this year. Trying to work on a couple things, get my health together, get it better. The plan is to revamp up, kind of get healthy, and do it again next year. That's the plan. I apologize for anybody who booked WrestleMania hoping to have like a casual wrestling meetup. Anybody who's going, y'all still hang out and have fun. Have fun for me. Send me lots of pictures and videos. But unfortunately, I will not be able to make that. So that's happening. And then lastly, just something I want to talk about, Lauren, is a little secret I taught you the other day. I really am enjoying watching Monday Night Raw on 1.5 speed.
Yeah.
This is something that I discovered you can do on Netflix, and it has changed the way I watch wrestling.
Well, Lauren's way of watching stuff is fast forward, but I miss so much.
Yeah.
So that like hack was the ability for me to watch it how I watch it anyways, and then like I understood every single word that they were saying though.
No, to me this is a cheat code. You can get through a Monday Night Raw in about, it's not half. I mean, it cuts a lot out when there's no commercials.
I hate slow talkers, so that's right about the speed that I want everybody to talk to me.
Yeah, so when you watch it the next day and there's no commercials and you put it on that 1.5, you can knock out Raw in about an hour and a half, which to me, once again, wrestling needs to be 2 hours long. That's the sweet spot.
Agreed.
We got to get off of this 3 hour shit. But the 1.5 has been a game changer since I discovered that. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get into Meltdown number 2 for this week. Meltdown number 2 came from a post I found on X. It says, it has been almost 2 years since Triple H replaced Vince McMahon as WWE creative head, but Triple H has not been able to create even one new megastar who could be in the main event of WrestleMania. He tried to make Jey Uso a big star, but it flopped miserably. Even Tiffany Stratton and Io Sky experiments did not work out for him. At the end of the day, Triple H has given the WrestleMania main event to 5 superstars who Vince McMahon created and made famous, hence proved WWE is nothing without Vincent K. McMahon. So we're 2 years into this Triple H creative wheel, and the IWC's already out here yelling, no new superstars, right? WWE is nothing without Vince McMahon. Mm-hmm. Apparently, Triple H was supposed to go from becoming head of creative and having a successful company to completely tearing these guys down in 18 months and just inserting all his new people. The same thing the IWC has complained about every time he's tried to push like a Tommaso Ciampa or a Johnny Gargano. They've got to make up their mind. Yeah. You either got to give him enough rope to try out some of these new superstars, or understand that in 2 years, you can't make new superstars. That not on the level that WWE expects them to be stars. The IWC has to stop acting. This is a weird thing they're doing now, that Vince McMahon just would snap his fingers and superstars were born. Like in the first year of The Rock, he was The Rock. Or in the first year of Stone Cold, he was Stone Cold. Or that it only took 365 days to make a John Cena. None of those guys were main eventing in year one. I don't expect to see the full effects of a Triple H run WWE for at least 2 to 3 more years. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you have to give people time to kind of find out who they are and stuff like that. Like, I remember seeing Roman Reigns in the beginning of the Shield. I remember how much I hated him.
Yeah, sure.
And then, like, we came back and we watched again, and I was like, that's, like, Roman Reigns, the one that I remember I hated, and you're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I like him now.
Yeah.
I think a couple of years passed, or I don't even know how long it was, but that's what I can equate it to. There wasn't somebody who I just saw like, oh my God, that's it, that person. But I think Tiffany Stratton's doing well. Maybe it's just because I'm partial to her because I like her.
I'm going to get to that in just a second. The reality is, to me, Triple H took over a company that's got 50 plus years of history. It's got all of these superstars who are established. You don't just throw in new people for the sake of throwing in new people. That is the AEW formula, and that is the exact way that you lose the casual audience, is take away what is familiar. I just said it earlier, right? They're still looking for Stone Cold, a lot of them. So to just rip those people out is absolutely insane. But let's talk like you said about Tiffany Stratton, right? Tiffany's been on the main roster for a year and some change, okay? Yeah. She's getting consistent TV time. She's getting a loud pop from the crowd. Every time we see her go out there, she's getting better. She's getting better. I mean, I really feel like when given the opportunity, she can talk on a microphone. She was caught off guard by Charlotte Flair the other night. I will die on this hill of Charlotte undercut her in that promo, and it won't happen again.
Yeah.
Tiffany's ready. But this, I don't know who's out here screaming that Tiffany Stratton's a failure.
I think she's a success story.
I would point to Tiffany Stratton as being one of Triple H's biggest accomplishments. I'd also look at Jey Uso, and I'm a little bit confused. Once again, this comes down to the IWC wanting these people to be flippy flip and kicky kick and suplex and power bomb. The reality is Jey Uso gets the loudest reactions in all of professional wrestling. Every company, nobody is getting a bigger reaction than Jey Uso. Nobody's gotten this big of a reaction since Bryan Danielson. That to me, you hear this reaction every week. You cannot call Jey Uso a flop. You cannot say Jey Uso's not a megastar. Is there work to be done? Sure, but we're talking about 2 years in. He's taken a guy who was a second level in the bloodline, who was a established tag team wrestler, and he's brought him in 2 years to a world heavyweight championship
when
match.
They broke them up. But I mean, I ate my own words once everybody was eating.
Sure.
Why not?
Yeah. I mean, he did. He could have just stayed with the old Vince McMahon pattern and kept them in the tag team, and they could have tag team for the rest of their careers. They could have been the Usos, and they'd have been fine, and they'd have gone down as probably the greatest tag team of all time. But instead, Triple H took a chance on these guys, and we've seen Jey, and now we're seeing Jimmy come into his own. That argument I don't really like. And then Io Sky, someone who I have never been particularly fond of. Mm-hmm. You can't, she is the world heavyweight champion right now for the women's division. Okay, that's about as high up the ladder as you can be. She is getting major crowd reaction when she is in a ring with Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. She is stealing the show week in and week out. We know that I think Bianca Belair is the top of the division. We know that there's a lot of people who will argue Rhea Ripley is the top of the division. And right now, you can't argue Io Sky, because here's the thing. All three of them are baby faces. None of them are heels. And Io Sky is out baby facing two of my favorite baby faces. So the argument that she's not successful, once again, I don't even understand that because she does all the flippy flips you guys like. So is it that you just don't want to admit that any of these people are success stories? But here's another one, Lauren, that I'm going to throw at you.
Do it.
That we just like to pretend didn't happen. Liv Morgan.
Oh.
Under Vince McMahon, Liv Morgan, a lot of us hated.
Shit.
Oh,
I
man.
did. Personally, I was like, I don't think that she's ready for this.
And Triple H decided at some point to throw her into the fire. And we said, I remember me and Mike going back and saying, ooh, this is scary.
Question.
Yeah.
Is it the Dominic Mysterio effect?
No, not with Liv, no. It's that Liv Morgan stepped up and shut us all the fuck up.
True.
She was about what she was about. She got better. And she shut us all the fuck up. And now she is a mainstay in the women's division. That is creating a superstar. She was not this. There is now no question. I could go back and search through my videos, and I'm not going to do this because I'm not going to shit on myself like this, but I made a statement, 100% confident, and I will bring it up right now. I said Liv Morgan will never win another World Heavyweight Championship. I said that
You did.
a year ago.
I agreed with you.
I will go on record. She's probably going to win 3 or 4 more. She has established herself in that upper echelon of women's wrestlers now. So that's somebody that was made under Triple H. You just said, but Dirty Dom was made in the Triple H era. And Dirty Dom, while he's not, I'll argue, he's not main event, but he is a superstar. Dirty
People
Dom.
know who he is.
And he gets great crowd reaction. And he is a utility heel that they can lean on. And he's not going to fuck up. He's not going to botch in matches. He's going to get you a reaction. He understands who he is, and he understands how to work a crowd. And that's all come under the Triple H regime. Braun Breaker is the other one. Like, come on, man. Braun Breaker is fantastic. Yeah. He's been fantastic. Bronson Reed has been fantastic. Just because he's not around right now, like, let's not pretend. 2 years is not long enough. In 5 years, Braun Breaker will be a superstar, megastar, absolutely the biggest guy in the company, along with Bronson Reed, right? And let's talk about LA Knight. Let's talk about LA Knight, somebody who Vince McMahon made the fucking manager of the Maximum Male Models.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And it took Triple H coming in and going, nah, you're good. You could wrestle again. And he became LA Knight. So
I liked Maximum Male Models.
Sure, they were fine.
Maxine
they were funny.
Dupree
but
was
the Maximum
the girl,
Male,
no?
Yeah, but the Maximum Male Models existed with LA Knight as only a manager. He was never going to wrestle again under Vince McMahon.
That's crazy.
And Triple H decided, nah, man, we're going to let you wrestle, okay? And he fucking killed it, right? So we've got to forget, like, we got to realize, also we had to realize when we talk about this 2 years, that's a little messy too, because let's not forget Vince McMahon left, got in his trouble, tried to fucking sneak back in the back door, and he was looking over Triple H's shoulder as he made decisions.
True.
And then the second wave of bullshit came out about Vince McMahon, and they were like, no, bro, lock the doors. He can't come back in. So there's still question as to how long Triple H has actually been holding the steering wheel of the company. But come on, man. Like, you can't look at, we have brand deals. We've got sponsorships. The PLEs have been good. Like, don't act like that WWE became some indie organization when Triple H took over. If you had the cheat codes, right? If you are given the option to pick CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, you're not going to cast them aside to prove that, like, oh, I could do this on my own. You continue to use your superstars while the next generation is building.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that's the problem. Triple H is making stars. You're just an impatient fuck. You're too busy crying about CM Punk and shit like that on the internet to notice that this is a slow burn. This ain't AEW. We don't stick people in the microwave. We don't put them in the microwave and cook them on super fast speed. We put people in the oven because fucking meat tastes better from the oven than it does in the microwave. We're not in a hurry. You want generational talent? Watch for the next 2 to 3 years. These seeds are planted right now. Watch what Tiffany Stratton becomes. Watch what Braun Breaker becomes. And stop yelling into our fucking garden every week. That's the reality. All right, Lauren, let's play a game of 10 questions. We haven't done that in a long time, okay? I know I didn't tell you about this, but, I thought it would be fun to do.
I asked you, right?
No, that's not fun. I have all the knowledge. I have all the knowledge in the world. So there's 2 ways we could play this. Okay.
I get to look at the roster.
So I was going to tell you, but then it includes NXT. Or you don't look at the roster and you have to go off your memory.
All right, fuck it. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it the right way.
So what's that mean?
You just I'm not gonna look at the roster, but can you tell me oh fuck, I don't even really know who's on. Right now, I told you today, I'm so confused. I don't know who exactly is on actually Raw and who's actually on SmackDown because there's been so much crossover.
Okay.
But let's just go. Let's just go for it. We'll go for it. I'll figure it out.
Maybe starting next week, I will give you not pictures, but I will give you a list of both names from both rosters, like a set of names from each roster.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll see. Wait, we're gonna do this again?
Yeah, this is every week.
Okay.
It's every week thing now.
All
right. Go ahead and begin your questions now.
Is it a girl?
No.
Okay, so it's a boy. I hope it's a boy. Are they a champion?
No, they're not.
Okay.
That's
Do
2.
they have blonde hair?
This is my crud. I don't know. That's why I was pulling them up.
Okay. I can't move on.
No, it's not blonde. No, it's not blonde. 3. That's 3. It's not blonde.
Okay, so the fact that you question means for you, it's probably brown hair. And it's probably a light brown hair. Okay.
It's not even light blonde. I don't know why I had to look it up.
Is he white?
Yes, that's 4.
Okay. Is he part of a tag team?
What do you consider a tag team? What would be a tag team?
Like a group of 2 people that wrestle together. So Ciampa and his little dude.
No, he's not part of a tag team.
He's not part of a tag team, but apparently I guess he hangs out with somebody. Okay, he's got light brown hair.
4.
He's white. Okay. Did he wrestle on SmackDown last week?
No, that's 5.
Did he wrestle on Raw this week?
Using the word wrestle, correct?
Was he on the show?
I don't remember if he's on this last Monday Night Raw. He's been actively on the show the last couple weeks. That's 6. I don't remember if he's particularly
Is he from America?
Yes, that's 7.
Okay, so it's not Kevin Owens. He's American. He's white. He has short brown hair.
There's a lot of these guys that are Canadian that I don't know.
Okay. Well, I need to know this one. That's important. Who could it be? He could possibly be part of a tag team. So he's got to have some friends.
Okay, American. 100% American. 100%
Okay.
American. That's 7.
But he could be fat and he could be one of the old Viking dudes.
Could be, right? Could be. Could be a Viking.
Okay, that got me thinking. Did he used to be a Viking?
No, that's it.
You got me, fucker. All right. Is he somebody I should know? Okay. Has he been part of the main roster, or is he on the roster but kind of like a sub character?
I don't know what that means.
So
what is a sub character?
This is gonna get me in trouble. The Chinese dude who has blonde hair and was part of the wrestling group.
You wouldn't say Tozawa's on the main roster?
No, he's like a side person.
I don't
he's
know
on
what
the main
that means.
roster, but he's like a side person. He's not as important. Does that make sense?
Oh, That was rough. You just called Tozawa not important?
Like, he's important.
I feel like, Tozawa, I feel like you're hell of important to the Alpha Academy. He is important,
but like, you know what I mean? No?
No, I don't know what
He's just not
that definition
popular.
Is not helping me.
Okay.
So now it's a popularity contest?
A Chad Gable versus Tozawa, right? Like, everybody knows who Chad Gable is.
Do they?
Is it fucking Chad Gable? Is he a wrestler?
Yes. That's the game. That's 9.
Does he wear a singlet? Singlet is the one.
No. That's 10.
So it's not part of that.
You have to guess now.
That's 10?
That's 10. Or you can go into overtime here.
It's Otis.
No. Do you want to go overtime and take a full 20 questions? Or are you tapping out at 10?
I'm living up to my 10. I'm going to be 10. I'm going to live by the rules today.
All right.
So, white guy.
White.
Light brown hair.
Nope.
Brownish hair. I'm assuming it's brownish because
brownish hair.
You had a question if it was blonde.
Trust me, that does not mean anything.
American.
Yes.
Not Tozawa.
Yeah, not Tozawa.
And not Otis.
Yeah.
What are we at?
Oh, you want the answer?
Yeah.
Karrion Kross.
Damn.
Is he a sub character? I don't know what that means. He's been on TV a lot.
He's Karrion Kross. Like, I know who Karrion Kross is. Like, I'm saying, like, sub character, like somebody I just wouldn't know who that name was. Does that make sense?
Tozawa's wrestled more than Karrion Kross in the last year.
Who's that dude? That we were talking about their group earlier, the one with Butch, and then the one who like dropped people. The Butch and the big guy who's now on NXT.
Ridge Holland.
Yeah.
He's a sub character.
A little bit. In my mind, like.
Okay. I'm gonna have to get. Then if I make you a list of the rosters, I'm gonna need a list
of
who's a sub character.
Oh God, I'm gonna get so much shit about that. It's okay. Whatever.
All right, let's get to the third and final meltdown of the week. This one comes from Elite Club S0 or SOB. He says WWE has started replacing certain TV 14 crowd chants with TV PG chants in the Netflix recorded versions of its shows. One example is the holy shit chant being swapped out for fake "this is awesome" chants in the Netflix version of WrestleMania 40. This is crazy censorship. Sad emoji. Breaking news, Lori. WWE is swapping out chants.
Like, and legitimately, for real?
Sure. And this is affecting certain people on a level that they need to pick up their phone and fucking tweet about it. Does everything have to be a problem? Does everything really have to be an issue? First off, who's got the free fucking time to go back and rewatch an entire 2 nights of WrestleMania? I don't. I'm not. Whoever picked up on this shit, come on, man. And we gotta be careful how we throw around words like censorship. This isn't censorship. This is editing. This is editing a television show
to make it
so that
eligible for everybody to watch it.
Reaches a broader audience.
Okay.
100%. That's what this is. Like, and these guys would understand if they ever left their mom's basement that there are more people who watch wrestling than just 40-year-old men who are pounding down Coors Light in their basement and they giggle every time they hear a fucking holy shit chant or a fuck solo or whatever. They lose their shit and they're so excited when they hear that. But the reality is, like you said, it's simple. This is Netflix. Wrestling is not, from what I understand, it is not hid behind a TV MA filter. Yeah. And so to fit that TV PG or whatever it is,
if somebody's kid wants to watch it in there on fucking kids mode, they can't.
Sure, exactly. And this is the example I use all the time that the IWC doesn't understand. It's the Party City example, right? Go to Party City sometime. And you're going to see a whole section of John Cena plates and Cody Rhodes balloons and WWE birthday banners. And you know who those are for?
The kids.
Yeah, they're not for the 40-year-old in his basement.
Or are they?
I mean, now, I assume that they think they are, but the reality is wrestling WWE especially is marketed as family-friendly entertainment. So you may get away with a holy shit chant live on Netflix, even though they try to block those out as well. Even on the premium live events, you may get a fuck solo chant, but the reality is it is not censorship to go back and go, we got to get that out, right? And
edit me out if I cuss.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's been times you said real wild shit, and I have to censor you on the show, and it's not. It's not.
I get censored all the time.
Sure, but it's not an offensive thing. It is so insane to me that people find the time to bitch and complain about something like this. That to me is more offensive than the fact that Triple H is doing it. Like I am a dad. You are a mom. We have children.
Yeah.
I love wrestling. I want our 10 and 12-year-old children to be able to watch wrestling, but I don't need them running around school yelling fuck solo.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
That's just the reality. Like, bad words are bad words, and you get away with it one time, but to go back and edit it out is okay. These
Does it
kids
really affect your watching experience?
That's
that
my
much?
problem, right? You went back and watched WrestleMania 40 and you're like, I can't fucking watch this. They're not saying holy shit anymore. It's like, so what?
Did you also just remember that part so much is my question?
Well, does it also bother him when, like, now they replay old WWE events with the old logo, with the WWF logo, and they have to blur it out, and he's like, I can't watch it. It's not the right logo. It's like, what the fuck is... I don't get this. It's called being responsible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I don't even know how this... But here's the bigger thing. Hey, bro, have you ever watched... There's lots of movies. Have you ever gone to a theater and there's a rated R movie and it's got some boobies in it, right?
Uh-huh.
And then that same movie comes on TNT and you get to the fucking part with the boobies and they're not there, right? Because they edit it out because TNT can't show that shit.
Yeah.
Just like Netflix doesn't want a holy shit chant on a program that's labeled TV PG. That's just reality, right? Like I don't know. Netflix is a mass platform, and WWE is protecting its brand, not just for the fucking 12, 40-year-old dudes on Reddit who need to hear the word fuck to get them going. Like, it's okay. It is business, and WWE is $1 billion business, bro. Like, I know you don't understand, but WWE sells toys, they sell video games, they sell birthday cakes, they put on Super Bowl level events. You remember in the Super Bowl when Justin Timberlake ripped out a boobie and how that fucking ruined halftime performances for like the next 10 years?
Yeah.
That's all they're doing. They're just going, it might happen, but afterwards we have the ability to go back, take that out, put in a "This is awesome" chant. Sure, it sounds fake, but to that 8, 9, 10-year-old, they don't recognize that shit. It takes a 40-year-old dude who's combing through WrestleMania 40 looking for his next tweet because he goes, oh, this is going to give me 6 likes. Like, come on, man. We gotta chill.
Yeah.
We have to chill on this. If your entire experience of a match is ruined because one chant got swapped, you're not a wrestling fan. You're a fan of being offended.
Yeah.
It's
people
a
talk about
huge
you
difference.
being negative all the time, but like, who cares? Like,
yeah, I mean,
that's the negative thing. Like, just watch it, enjoy it, and have fun.
Yeah, it's not censorship. It's actually marketing. If you want to be real honest, as somebody who comes from a marketing background and has extensive time in a marketing company, it's marketing. They're marketing to their audience. They're both fucking full circle episode. The bulk of the fucking wrestling audience, 80% of it is grandmas and children and people who aren't engulfed in the sport and don't understand the importance of certain chants. And they don't give a shit when the chants get changed. You just, unfortunately for you, there comes a time when you have to look at professional wrestling and understand you're not the target demo anymore. You can enjoy it and enjoy it for what it is, but they're not making the content for you. That's the reality. Lauren, this last thing here we're going to talk about is a meme. I'm going to text it over to you. I meant to put it in the Discord before we started, but
Okay,
I'll text it to you right now so you can look at it.
Right it.
And then I'll put it up on the episode where everybody can see it.
Sounds good.
It's just a simple meme I found. I thought it'd be fun to play the game here. It is release one, retire one,
From this whole list?
rehire one. It's a picture.
From the whole, like, I know, but there's like a.
So
here.
for it'll be on the screen when I post this, so we don't have to act like.
All right, so I have to release one, retire one, and rehire.
Yeah,
one.
so it's interesting. This.
Oh, like from the top row, I have to choose one to release.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't think this is very hard. I don't know about you. Look at this, and row 1 and 2.
Done.
I can knock it out like that. Row 3 is where I get interested. Row 3 is where I have to pay attention and really look. Row 1, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Io Sky. Unfortunately, I have come to respect Io Sky in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But if I got to make a fucking call on these 3, it's not a question. It's not a question who's getting the axe. You're done.
I know.
Gone.
Bye.
I'm doing The Rock and John Cena's kicking her in the nuts. Okay, so then we got retire one. This, to me, unfortunately,
is it
all respect in the world to Natalya.
That's what I thought it was.
But she's not on the level of like.
No,
that's
Charlotte Flair and
I get
Becky
excited
Lynch, right?
when Becky Lynch is in a match. I get excited when Charlotte Flair's in a match. I roll my eyes when Natalya comes out.
I want to get rid of the fucking brace.
Yeah.
I hate them. My grandma used to wear them, and every time I see them, I just think,
no disrespect, even though I'm being extremely disrespectful to Natalya.
Bless her heart.
Great wrestler. IWC prime darling. She's just not on the level of Charlotte and Becky Lynch. We got to be real. If I got to retire one of these 3,
it's definitely her.
Yeah, it's time to go. So the third one is where it gets interesting, right? Because this is where there's some conversation to be had.
Do you want to know where I would have almost gone at first?
Well, I want to talk through
okay
first, and then what your gut reaction? Where are you going? You're bringing back.
I initially wanted to say Sasha Banks.
Okay,
that was my initial reaction,
okay.
But I've changed it. Now you may continue.
So here's my thought process when I look at this.
Let's see if we have the same thought process.
With Sasha Banks, it is a huge gamble. It's a huge crapshoot. Big personality, big ego. Walked out the fucking door last time when she wasn't happy. Clearly not a team player. Whether she's right or wrong, you have to believe that she stands on business. She will walk out the door if it's not the way she wants. Some say she went to New Japan and AEW and found super success. I'm still waiting to see what that looks like because I don't believe that she's been successful. I believe that she's just the shiny, sparkly person in a fucking system of dull IWC favorites. She is somebody who took the WWE formula over to AEW and continues to try to use it to stand out in a crowd of people who don't understand that marketing mentality. So to bring her back, I don't know if she provides that value. I don't know.
It's just Tiffany Stratton now.
Exactly. You got a couple other people that I think fill that role. I still say I'd take Britt Baker any day of the week over a Mercedes Moné. That's me. Okay. Toni Storm, very interesting. Okay. Her time in WWE was not successful. She went to AEW. She has found a character that has resonated with that audience. And it seems like a lot of the audience likes the timeless Toni Storm. She's Marilyn Monroe. That's what she's doing. Okay. And it's been pretty good. I've kept up with it a little bit. I don't know if I want that in WWE though. So you rehire Toni Storm. That's what you're probably going to get. It's also going to come with a lot of bitching, a lot of complaining from the IWC. I just maybe let her stay and let her be the gold nugget in a room full of turd nuggets, and she can continue to be successful in AEW. Saraya is the one I think I say rehire. Paige. Yeah. We have history, right? We have history with Paige. She never should have left in the first place.
She also has a good personality in the fact that it's her personality. I don't think that
I don't know her on that level.
Well, I used to watch her on the show and stuff like that, but she's kind of different. I think not she's trying to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think she grew up in the business. I think she's a team player. I think you fucking say whatever you want in the ring. She's phenomenal. She's got great character work. You can't say anything. The only thing I've ever said negative was I did not like that she left WWE and took a shot at WWE when she got to AEW. That was it. And the other thing I think I might have said was if you're afraid to wrestle and you're still hurt, don't wrestle. It's not worth it for you. Don't do it. Outside of those two arguments that I made, she's phenomenal. She could manage. I said she could be a general manager. She can get in the ring and wrestle if she wanted to. Whatever she wants to do, it will add value to the WWE women's division. I think Toni Storm definitely comes in and becomes a player.
My thought with Toni Storm was like, well, do we take her to see like what she could be capable of?
It's a gamble. It's a
Because
gamble,
she's an
right?
upcoming
It's a gamble.
younger
How does
star?
she fit in when she's not given? Because the other thing is she's given a lot of rope in AEW to do things that I don't think,
Right.
bless you, that I don't think WWE would necessarily give her the time nor the leash
True.
to be able to try in WWE, which maybe that's a WWE
And
problem.
the way that she left and then got successful in AEW and then came back, they could have like an idea that I need to be this famous here, like I was over there. Does that make sense?
Yes. I believe that with Mercedes and with Toni Storm.
Yeah.
Is there may be a comfortability in, hey, we call the shots in AEW. And you get back to WWE, it's like, you don't have any fucking, you don't have any pull here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd go Saraya. I'm bringing it. So
I agree with you.
release one. Now let's play it one time, play it the other way around though.
What do you mean?
You got to release 2, retire 2, and rehire 2.
Okay.
Not 1. So now it's a little more difficult. Because now what I feel like is there was 1 in each of these groups that was fairly simple.
All right. So release 2.
So now you got to release 2 from row 1.
All right. So it's still Io for me.
Yeah, but I'm saying now you got to make a decision between Bianca and Rhea.
Bianca and Rhea. Bianca Belair, sorry.
You're insane. You're insane. You're a crazy person.
Mm-mm.
I feel like that was a shot at me, in fact.
No.
It feels like that was a shot
No.
at me. If
No.
Randy Orton was on this list, he'd be gone.
Oh, Randy's
Just so
story.
you know.
He's staying forever.
Randy would be gone immediately. Just as a
Randy
as a
is
clap.
Randy Orton.
No.
It's Bianca for me.
It's not. It's Rhea. It's Bianca. Bianca's got to stay.
Well,
Bianca.
we'll let the chat decide which one.
Nah, don't let them do that.
I'd like to know who they
Don't let
say.
them do that.
Vote
Don't
for
let them do
Bianca.
that. Don't let them do that.
Vote for Bianca. All right.
All right, so you got to retire 2 of them.
Okay.
Who you retiring?
We know Naomi for sure.
Naomi's not on that
Not
list.
Naomi. Natalia. Sorry.
Yeah.
Natalia.
Uh-huh.
Now, do I want the triple threat or do I want Miss I don't move my face anymore?
Okay, that's one way to explain it.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to go Charlotte Flair.
You're retiring Charlotte Flair?
I'm
or you're
retiring
keeping
Charlotte Flair. I
Me
think
too.
it's time
Me
for
too.
Tiffany Stratton to take her place
Me too.
as the queen.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I think that
You know?
I think we spent a year without Charlotte,
Didn't
and
miss
while I
anything.
said she's definitely an asset when she comes back, we can survive. I think Becky still has gas in the
She
gas
still has
tank.
that fire in her.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think the
It's
last
more than
one to
triple
me,
threat.
I'm keeping Saraya and Toni Storm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, only because like when Sasha Banks left, like I didn't miss her. I thought I was going to a lot, but I had so many people fill my cup of like pretty clothes and good gimmicks, and like maybe it was the song that got me. It was the clothes. I don't know, but I agree with you.
Maybe so. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to Casual Wrestling Conversation Daily this week. If you enjoyed this Friday Meltdown, make sure to hit the like button, drop a comment, and join the Casual Wrestling Discord to keep the conversation going. And remember, if you're easily offended, this show's probably not for you. I've been the notorious Dirty Dee. That's Level Up Lauren. We will see you on Monday for another episode of CWCD. Lauren, ring the final bell of the week.
Ding ding ding.